Security governance. What is governance? This is governance in terms of leadership of an organization. So what direction do we want the organization to go? Yeah. What policies do we need to put in place? What high-level documents need to be passed downward? Where in terms of security are we now? And where in terms of security are we supposed to be? So sometimes companies, organizations, lawyers, judge, courts, different people, even the police, they are able to predict somebody's future actions. Not always correct, but they are able to predict someone's possible future actions based on patterns, where they are coming from. So due care is what a standard of care. What do we need to put in place? First of all, right? What policies need to be in place? What standards need to be in place? Due diligence is a continuous effort. Do a background check. Nice. You employ them. But you also still need to monitor things like, what do they do on social media? What kind of stuff do they post? Because do you know why? Security governance. What is governance? This governance is not the same as governance in terms of government. This is governance in terms of leadership of an organization. So what would you say governance is? So what direction do we want the organization to go? Yeah. What policies do we need to put in place? What high-level documents need to be passed downward? Yeah. Where in terms of security are we now? And where in terms of security are we supposed to be? What standards and frameworks do we need to comply with? What industry standards or frameworks must we comply with? Otherwise, we might be liable for fines or all these things, or even lawsuits. So, some key terms to note. There's due care, there's due diligence, there's strategic alignment. You know, sometimes when you apply for a job and they are trying to do a background check on you before they employ you, or they give you the offer temporarily based on a successful outcome of a what? Clean background check. So sometimes companies, organizations, lawyers, judge, courts, different people, even the police, they are able to predict somebody's future actions. Not always correct, but they are able to predict someone's possible future actions based on patterns, where they are coming from. So based on the history, the criminal records, what kind of crimes have they committed in the past? So all these things, they are done in order to achieve, number one, due diligence. Yeah. So they say, I need to carry out my due diligence on that person. That's like, what do I need to do to ensure this person is safe for the organization? What do I need to do to ensure this person is not going to be a potential risk? Or even if they are a risk at all, it's going to be very minimal, because everything is a risk. Everybody you employ is a risk. Everybody you hire is a risk. They may come back with a clean background check, but they could still pose a serious risk to your organization. Because sometimes they may not have the intention, but they may be put in certain situations that will bring out that intention that was never their original plan. Do you get? And then they carry out actions they never intended to carry out. For example, somebody who has never committed fraud then gets to a point where the child is sick, the only child is sick, and they're in charge of the record of accounts. And you're about to submit your financial record at the end of the financial year. And you know they're going to check, they're going to audit, they're going to do all these things. They know that. They know it's going to put the organization at risk. But would their child die, their only child die, or commit fraud and potentially put the organization at risk? They don't even mind being caught later. But as long as they save the child first, they are fine, right? So sometimes you hire people, they have a clean background check, but situations may push them to do things they don't want to do. That's not justifying the actions, but I'm just saying. The reason I'm explaining this is because doing a background check is just due diligence. You're doing your own part. It doesn't guarantee 100% security. You're just doing your part. Yeah, it's better than, okay, you hire somebody because you think, I don't care what they've done before. They look like they're fit for the job. They've got the skill set, and then you just hire them. But then they commit fraud. Upon investigation, you then find out that was why they got fired from their last job. Do you get? So now they will need to find the root cause. Who hired this person? Did you carry out a background check? If you didn't carry out a background check, are you sure you didn't know? That's why you did not carry out a background check. Are you sure you are not an accomplice to this fraud? And several questions like that, and to the point of maybe damaging the company's reputation, to say these people like to evade tax and they like to falsify documents. So due diligence, due care is just you doing your part to reduce risk, but it does not guarantee 100% security. Yeah? There is no place that is 100% secure. There is no system that is 100% secure. Strategic alignment is aligning security with business goals and objectives. I know a very big organization where they fired an expert because the guy came on board to this very big organization. And it was like, you guys are doing rubbish here. From where I'm coming from, this is how we used to do it. And we need to implement this security. We need to implement this firewall. We need to add this validation here. We need to do this and that. Now, the guy was hired as a security architect. So he just came on board with his skill set, trying to change things without first understanding the goals and objectives of the organization. He was coming on board and trying to use his experience from his former job in the new company. So then he added and changed many things. The developers gave him a pushback a bit. I was like, this is a bad idea. Because if you do this, it's going to cause this and cause that kind of problem. The guy was like, no, security comes first. And where I'm coming from, we did it and it worked. Because of the security stuff implemented, it affected some other components in the code. And that flaw started. They thought it was a hacker that caused it until they did a troubleshoot and realized it was the change the security architect brought on board that caused the loophole. Why am I saying this? Sometimes when you're trying to implement a new security control and you think you're adding security, you're actually opening up another vulnerability somewhere else. Because the security you've implemented has not integrated properly with the existing information system in place. So you don't want a situation where your security controls are too tight, to the point of you pushing your customers away, because you need to align security with business goals and objectives. If your organization is trying to achieve 20 times more revenue, it's also your business, because there are certain things you may need to check and tweak in order to achieve those, return on investment or achieve that goal in that year. So you might think security is all about passwords, security firewalls. No, you also contribute in a way to the organization's revenue or to the company's profit and revenue. You have a direct impact on that, Because if you don't do your job and the website goes down, there is no profit. Or if the app goes down, there's no profit. If you don't manage the vulnerabilities properly, there's also what? No profit or bad impact on the company's reputation. When data starts getting leaked, data starts getting lost, and so on. So due care is what a standard of care. What do we need to put in place? First of all, right? What policies need to be in place? What standards need to be in place? Do a background check. Nice. You employ them. But you also still need to monitor things like, what do they do on social media? What kind of stuff do they post? Because do you know why? You now need to check those things against what the corporate culture. Do they align with our organizational goals and objectives? But this is not just the work of HR, because HR can't cover all the bases. You need cyber intelligence tools to now do this for you. What are the places where our company's name is appearing? What are the places where our company's name is used? Who are the people that have our company name on their profile and are posting things contrary or contradicting this? You can't do all that manually. Imagine a company where you've got like 1,000 employees or 2,000 employees. You can't do that manually. So what do you need? Cyber intelligence tools that can achieve rules, that can let you set rules like that will say, okay, if our organization name appears in their profile, but they post anything that has these keywords, flag it, let us know. Imagine if you're doing that manually for 200 people. Would you not be, even for 5 people, would you not be tired? Yeah. You have to check their Instagram, you have to check their LinkedIn, you have to check their Facebook, you have to check their GitHub and all these things, right? It's going to be too much, even for 5 people. So imagine bigger companies. So you need cyber intelligence tools, and HR can't do that for you. You need cybersecurity guys to check the online presence and the online reputation of the company. What are they posting about the company? What are the people that are part of the company posting online that contradict our corporate culture? So if your company does not stand for, let's say, war, but then you see somebody that is posting things like, war is good. It's important for the small guys can stand up for themselves, and they go and they post something really, really controversial. And that person is associated with your organization. That moment. They won't say, oh, this is an individual. They're going to say, so person that works with a certain company is, saying this and this and that. Now, because the person is small compared to the company, they will focus on the company and leave the person. And that would affect your company's reputation more than the individual's reputation. Because people always like the bigger fish more than the smaller fish. Even when they are trying to sue people as well, many times they don't sue the individual because they can't get much from the individual. If they can find a way to tie it to the company, they sue the company because they can get more from the company than from the individual. Or if there are 2 people, one is a celebrity or a public figure and the other one is an individual, just a common person. Most of the time, if they were to pick one, they will pick the public figure over the smaller one because they're able to milk this one more than the other one. So it's the same with your company. If you're posting something or someone in your company is posting something and it's contrary to your corporate culture or it's too controversial, the only way you can predict or check that is through cyber intelligence to see who are the people that have our company name on their profile, but posting things with certain keywords on certain topics. Then it flags it out for you, and then you're able to act accordingly. Because again, your company is the big fish, that person is just a tiny fish. Compared to the big fish, they'll go for the big fish.